Now, after Monday Night Football and streaming on today.com, a Victoria teen accused of making a terroristic threat appears in court for the first time.
The Victoria Regional Airport receives a grant to update the control tower. A look at what work will be done.
Plus, Port Lavaca's annual nativity scene is back and ready for the public to enjoy this holiday season. We'll have a look at this year's festive display.
Well, we're waiting for the cold front. It's up in North Texas. This will be blowing through our area tomorrow morning. It'll be a strong northerly wind, and it will be getting cold, down to freezing middle of the week. We'll have all that coming up in a moment.
And the Tidehaven Tigers looking to get back to the state championship game this Thursday night. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now after Monday Night Football. Thanks for staying up with us. I'm Shauna Curry.
And I'm Don Brubaker. A pretrial hearing in the murder trial for Fernando Acosta this Thursday was canceled and moved to January 22nd due to witness unavailability. The trial will begin on April 7th, 2025. Acosta's trial was pushed back several times before settling on the new date. The court met on August 2nd and August 12th before deciding to delay the trial. Acosta is charged with the murder of Amanda Johnson in 2021. Johnson's body was found in a burnt vehicle after the reported killing. He is also charged with tampering with evidence and abuse of corpse and murder. Acosta met his $500,000 bond after turning himself into the Matagorda County Jail. The hearing for a Victoria teen accused of making a terroristic threat is reset. Today, the court reset the case against 17-year-old Brennan Gray until after the new year. Victoria County deputies arrested Gray on September 12th after he reportedly made a threat of a school shooting and implied he had a weapon in his backpack, which he did not. Gray is charged with making a terroristic threat causing fear of imminent serious bodily injury.
The Victoria Regional Airport Control Tower is undergoing a renovation to meet growing demand. The upgrade is possible through a $1.5 million grant to Victoria County from the Federal Aviation Administration. This grant will be used to replace the air conditioning, windows, and elevator and make the tower overall more FAA compliant. Replacement of communication radios and weather equipment is also planned. This renovation will take over a year to complete. And this is just one grant that is helping the future of Victoria Regional Airport fly high. In addition to funds designated for the control tower renovations, more than $10 million has been designated for runway and taxiway upgrades. The airport's manager says the terminal building is next for updates, but those plans have to wait until next year at the earliest.
That application for a terminal grant that comes up next year, sometime in the spring, and yeah, we will be applying for that grant.
Lorena says the FAA recognizes the increased passenger traffic over the last year, making these grants available. And this brings us to our viewer poll today. Do you think renovations and upgrades at the airport will attract even more passengers? Yes, no, or maybe. And just over half of you feel that it's not what would attract more passengers. Voted no there. But if you haven't voted, you still have an opportunity to. All you have to do is go to crossroadstoday.com/vote. And thank you to everyone who has taken part tonight.
The Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign is now at all 3 Chick-fil-A's in Victoria. Today, Chick-fil-A donated 20% of all orders on their app to the Salvation Army. The Victoria Television Group is ringing the bell at the Victoria Walmart Supercenter, 9002 North Devero, this Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. The Salvation Army of Victoria's goal is to raise $70,000 through the Red Kettles this holiday season. The Red Kettle campaign continues through Christmas Eve. Let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. It sounds like several hours before we do the ringing of the bell, we'll be ringing in a cold front.
And we'll be looking for a blanket too. We're looking for the coldest air so far this season to be rolling in tonight. The frontal system just south of Dallas, it'll be here by sunrise. 20 to 30 mile an hour winds tomorrow out of the north will make it feel rather chilly. And then we talk about clear skies and near freezing temperatures. We'll have all that coming up in just a moment.
All right, thank you, Mac. Well, since the rain over the weekend was not enough to bring us out of a drought, DeWitt County commissioners have banned the sale and use of some fireworks for the New Year holiday. The restricted fireworks include sky rockets with sticks and missiles with fins in any portion of the unincorporated areas of DeWitt County. A person who violates the ban could face a Class C misdemeanor. A town called Victoria brings home the top honor for Best Limited Series at the International Documentary Association Awards. Co-produced by Victoria native Anthony Pedoni, the series explores the aftermath of the 2017 mosque arson fire and highlights how the community came together to rebuild. This story of resilience and unity has drawn international attention, showcasing the community's response to adversity.
No one is hurt when a car catches fire on U.S. Highway 59. Victoria and Inez fire departments responded to the fire around 6 tonight near the rest stop. The vehicle owner's wife was driving northbound when the car overheated and smoke was coming out of the engine. She pulled over, then a short time later it burst into flames. The driver made it out safely. Texas has the fastest growing energy storage market in the country. The American Clean Power Association's analysis shows that growth will help ERCOT better handle extreme weather events. The study also found energy demand in Texas skyrocketed over the past 2 years. And the group says rising energy demand will continue in the future. The analysis showed additional energy storage contributed to $750 million in cost reductions. Port Lavaca's annual nativity scene is open for the public to see this holiday season.
25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting takes a look at this year's display.
Thanks. I'm here in Port Lavaca where we have the annual nativity scene collection here, and just take a look at some of these beautiful displays. We've got periods from different places on earth where they've created these in different mediums to create the nativity scene from classic Bible story. And we were just lucky enough to be able to catch it in a pretty quiet time. We were able to peruse all the displays they had and just was impressed by everything we saw. They were built out of corn husks, some built out of beans, some different materials that you wouldn't expect. And again, just a collection of nativity scenes donated by people in the community to come here through a couple days during the winter holidays to just be able to appreciate the artistry that went into these. It's open from December 13th to the 15th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So those will be your opportunities to come out to Port Lavaca and check out these wonderful displays. It's located at 3187 Street, Highway 35 in Port Lavaca. Trenton Whiting, KVUTV, 25 News Now.
Trent, thank you. Campaign finance records cannot account for all the money spent on advertising over an anti-abortion policy proposal in Amarillo that voters rejected last month. That's from an analysis by the Tribune and Sunlight Research Center Foundation. To read the full Texas Tribune story, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. The Yoakum City Council meets tomorrow night to discuss a contract to replace the community center dance floor, among other agenda items. The meeting starts at 5:30 at Yoakum City Hall. The council will also talk about possibly making a purchase above the budget for a new ambulance.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell, and you can stay up to date on our news any time of day. Well, stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now after Monday Night Football. Jay-Z fires back over allegations accusing him and Sean Diddy Combs of raping a teen girl after an award show after party.
Also ahead, TikTok is challenging a U.S. law that could lead to a ban. We have the latest on the company's fight to keep the app available.
Welcome back. New York police have charged a man with first-degree murder in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson after arresting him at a Pennsylvania McDonald's. An employee at that McDonald's called authorities after recognizing the suspect from NYPD released photos. New York police had named 26-year-old Luigi Mangione a person of interest, but did not charge him until late tonight in Thompson's death. When arrested, Mangione had a gun matching the type used in last week's hotel shooting, along with fake IDs and a document criticizing the healthcare industry. He appeared in a Pennsylvania court tonight, facing 5 charges, including forgery and firearms offenses, and now the murder charge. He's being held without bail. Explosive accusations against music mogul Jay-Z. He's responding to a civil lawsuit in which a woman accuses Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs of raping her when she was just 13 years old.
She claims another celebrity stood by and watched as the men took turns assaulting her.
It's a bombshell accusation against one of the most powerful people in the music world. A newly amended civil lawsuit alleging music mogul Jay-Z sexually assaulted a then 13-year-old girl with rapper Sean Diddy Combs after the Video Music Awards 14 years ago. The civil lawsuit, originally filed in October, amended over the weekend to include Jay-Z's name and says Jay-Z and Diddy drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl at an after party, and that another celebrity stood by and watched as Combs and Carter took turns assaulting the minor. Combs and Carter attended the VMAs that year. Today, the rapper filing to dismiss the lawsuit, denying the claims, calling them idiotic and saying it was a blackmail attempt, taking direct aim at the plaintiff's attorney, stating what he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. Jay-Z, the father of 3, writes, "My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims." Jay-Z now daring the lawyer to change the civil lawsuit to criminal complaint and have the Jane Doe name herself. The plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby, responding to Jay-Z's statement, writing, "I won't be bullied or intimidated. People will see through this effort to discredit me and my clients, and the truth will be revealed. I also won't allow anyone to scare my clients into silence."
We already saw a judge address similar issues when Sean Combs raised this issue back in October and November when the lawsuit first came out. And the judge then said, because of the age of the victim at the time and the facts that they had, that the Jane Doe can remain as a Jane Doe. I would suspect even Jay-Z doing this himself a second time, the facts and arguments remain the same and the judge may still allow this person to remain a Jane Doe.
Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer is also out with a new statement writing, "In court, the truth will prevail," and that he never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Today, Google said it cracked a key challenge in quantum computing that experts have been working on for almost 30 years. The company says the breakthrough in quantum error correction was achieved with its latest quantum chip, which it named Willow. Google says Willow can reduce errors exponentially as experts scale up using more qubits, which are basic units of information in quantum computing, if you didn't know, that the company says paves the way to a useful large-scale quantum computer. Google says Willow performed a computation in under 5 minutes that would take one of today's fastest supercomputers longer than the age of the universe.
Wow. Well, TikTok is fighting a U.S. law that could ban the app. Parent company BitDance asked an appeals court to temporarily block the law while it takes the case to the Supreme Court. The law gives TikTok until January 19th to sell the app or face a ban in the U.S. TikTok is pushing for an injunction to keep the app available on U.S. app stores during the appeal, arguing the order to sell is an unconstitutional violation of the First Amendment. Creators on the platform also claim TikTok is being unfairly singled out, pointing out that other U.S. tech companies collect and sell user data globally. On Friday, a D.C. Circuit panel unanimously upheld the law, ruling it does not violate the First Amendment. In your health news, different types of bacteria can cause toxic shock syndrome, and it has been linked to the use of tampons as an uptick in cases is being seen.
And here's more.
Toxic shock syndrome, or TSS, is caused by toxins released by common bacteria like staph or strep. These toxins trigger severe inflammation in the body, leading to high fever, rash, low blood pressure, vomiting, or even organ failure. While tampons can increase risk for TSS, they are not the direct cause. Leaving a tampon in too long simply creates an environment where bacteria can thrive. The CDC recently reported a 20-year high in strep-induced TSS. There have also been reports of trace amounts of heavy metals found in tampons, though whether or not these pose any health risks is under FDA investigation. For now, experts say tampons are safe to use, but if you believe you're experiencing any symptoms of toxic shock syndrome, seek immediate medical attention. With this Medical Minute, I'm Zoreen Shah.
Well, good evening, everybody. We're at 65 degrees, but you see this, the fog has already developed, so it's getting foggy out at the airport, here in town, and out in the country as well. We're looking at today's high temperature, got up to 76, which compares to a 68 with the overnight low. However, by tomorrow morning, we've got a cold north wind that's going to give us a big chill in the middle of this week. We'll talk about that after this. Well, good evening, everybody. We are getting the fog and low clouds already and mist already developing as the temperatures have cooled down with the moisture that we have. However, all of that's going to be blowing away by sunrise as this frontal system is diving down toward us. We expect it to pass through here just before sunrise. You'll know it's here because it'll be about a 15 to 30 mile an hour wind out of the north. And then the cold weather rolls in. You're going to be needing a winter coat later this week. Now, the moisture that's with us is basically left over from the weekend rain, obviously. And so now the temperature is cooling to the dew point and we're getting condensation. Now, behind this front is very dry air because it's coming at us from the Arctic. So it's a dense dome of cold air dropping south. Now, the daytimes may be okay because we're going to be sunny but chilly, all right? It's one of those deals where sunny side of the street is nice and mild, the shade is kind of cold. Well, that's where we're going to be in middle of the week, and then temperatures hovering down near 32 2. Now here's tonight, where we were looking at down into the 50s as a low temperature, a couple of 40s, upper 40s possible, and the freeze line is way up here just about Lubbock. Tomorrow, or tomorrow night, Wednesday morning, the dip will be way down here, down south. Here is the forecast highs for tomorrow. We're looking sunny skies, but cool, chilly north wind blowing throughout the day. I think you'll need a coat. This is going to be a cold wind blowing. And you can see how by sunrise, right there, 5 a.m., northerly winds blowing through the area. It'll blow all the moisture that we had from the weekend. It's all going to be gone. And then for about 2 days, we've got some chilly, cold north winds. And then the funny part is that on Saturday, it rolls back around. We pick up the Gulf air and low clouds, and all of a sudden the temperatures will get mild. So it's a 2-day cold snap is what we're going to be dealing with. Now here's the minimum temperatures tonight. You can see dipping down to the 40s for much of the country, certainly the central part, in the 50s in the east, and well, let's see, in the 40s along the west coast. And then they forecast high temperatures. Well, you can see here, this in purple, that's 0 degrees, okay? This in white is 32, so obviously chilling cold temperatures. But what we're going to get is what's called radiational cooling. In other words, skies are clear, air is dry, nighttime comes in and the temperature drops fairly dramatically. And so that's why we're looking for a chilly couple of mornings. Tomorrow we start off with a little bit of cloud cover, then the north wind kicks in and it clears up. We're looking northerly winds, possibly 30 miles an hour in the peaking in the afternoon, and a high of about only 64 degrees. In Cuero, you're only going to get up to about 64 as well. We're looking for a little cloud cover in the morning and then clearing up. The rest of the day should be sunny and dry. So again, when is the coldest temperature? And remember, pets, pipes, plants, people, and the Pope. Okay, you got to make sure everybody's warm. We're looking at that front coming in the morning, then clearing skies, then on Wednesday morning, 34, getting up to 64 in the daytime, then 36 and getting up to 66 in the daytime. And then all the mild, soupy skies roll back into the crossroads. That's your 7-day forecast. We want to remind everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. And here's Maxwell, and all the Cowboys are crying, right?
Yes, they are there, Mac. I'll talk about this game. But before we get to that, though, UH women's soccer had 2 finalists win some big awards here earlier today. I'll highlight this coming up in sports. All right, so we just have some breaking news to start here, our sports block for Industrial fans. You guys got a new defensive coordinator and head coach. New defensive coordinator for Industrial will be Cameron Yo, and their head coach will be Matt Lou Dickey there. Again, he will be the athletic director and head coach now for the Industrial Cobras going into next football season. Now, getting back to the right now teams that are still in here for the state finals. We got 4 teams left here in the Crossroads. One of them is trying to punch their ticket to the state for the 2nd year in a row. Here's sports reporter Zach Brown, who's got some sights and sounds from Tidehaven, who seem to be peaking at just the right time.
We back in it, let's go! The Tidehaven Tigers are back in the state semifinals after upsetting Lexington. Tidehaven always embracing that underdog role. Not only do they not care about the outside noise, they wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm going to be honest with you, if we weren't the underdogs, I don't know if we would know how to act. So for some reason, a lot of people like to pick us, and I don't blame them. That's a good-looking team over there. And I don't think we ever win the eye contest. You know what I mean? We're not that big. We don't look like like a bunch of stallions. But like I said, we just find a way.
When we first started this year, everyone counted us out because we lost some key players. But at the end of the day, we stuck together, and we love proving people wrong. We love being the underdog, and we love beating the odds.
Tidehaven about as tough as it gets physically, and this team has a strong defensive identity. They love to lay the hammer any chance they get.
We just love out-hitting people, and that's the model that we live by. We love to out-hit people. We like to let people quit, and that's basically what we live by. Who's projected to lose?
The boys in El Maton still gold ball hunting, just 1 win away from punching their ticket back to the state championship. And if there's anything the state of Texas can learn from the Tidehaven Tigers, never count them out. Their state semifinal game will be this Thursday against Woodville at Randall Reed Stadium, and you can bet their fans will travel well as they search for that first title since 1980. Zach Brown, KAVU-TV 25, News Now Sports.
All right, so Tidehaven, again, they can try to advance to the state championship game and face the Gunter Tigers if they can win this game there again on Thursday night. And again, this leads us now to our viewer poll here. Do you think, again, Tidehaven will reach the state championship game here? Yes or no? And a majority of you said yes there again at 6 o'clock. Same here for the 10 o'clock. 89% of you picked there Tidehaven again to win it. And 11% say no, but we'll see what happens there again on Thursday when they face the Woodville Eagles. Now over to UHV women's soccer. We had 2 players in Estelle Flanagan and Kylie Spree-Kolash who were announced to the All-West Region team voted by United Soccer coaches across the U.S. Both Flanagan and Kolash were 2 of the 11 that were voted in the All-West Region. This duo helped the Jaguars to an historic season, starting a program best 5-0 and a trip there to the Red River Athletic Tournament. So this year, head coach Adrian Rigby said, "We're so happy for Kylie and Estelle, and both were driving forces into our team all season, and it's fitting they achieve these honors together." Now again, over to college football. Again, the Heisman Trophy announced their 4 finalists there for the Heisman Trophy this Saturday night. And here are the 4 finalists officially. Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel, wide receiver DB Travis Hunter, running back there for Boise State Ashton Genty, and then Miami, Florida quarterback Cam Ward. Round of the odds favorite to win it right now is going to Travis Hunter. Ashton Genty is right behind there in the rankings. So we'll see who will take it there in New York City there Saturday night. And again, you all just watched the game there between the Dallas Cowboys facing the Cincinnati Bengals here. Again, the night there for Joe Burrow. He flew there for 369 yards and 3 touchdowns there in the game, including there later on getting that game-winning 40-yard touchdown pass there later in the game there to Burrow to Chase to win this game. And the Bengals now, with this win, get to 5-8 overall this season. The Cowboys, they dropped. They're also 5-8. Both teams out of playoff contention, most likely here for both of those teams. And again, props up, though, to a great game before we just got on the air tonight. That's going to do it here for sports. Don and Shauna, back to you.
Max, thank you, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now. After Monday Night Football, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, the holiday spirit is running wild in Las Vegas. What doesn't? Find out how the Great Santa Run is making a difference for charity.
An iconic piece of movie memorabilia is sold at auction. A pair of ruby slippers worn by Judy Garland during the making of The Wizard of Oz sold for $28 million. Now, only 4 pairs of slippers used in the film are known to still exist. This pair that was auctioned off over the weekend, they were stolen from a museum in Minnesota almost 20 years ago. Collector Michael Shaw had loaned the slippers to Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and some thieves came in and stole them back in the early 2000s. Police recovered the slippers in 2018 during a sting operation. Interesting thing to steal. But authorities charged 2 men in their 70s with that theft. Still unclear who bought the slippers on Saturday and whether the buyer will display them.
And the buyer's probably saying, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. Different cities around the country have their own unique ways of ushering in the holiday season. New York has the tree lighting at Rockefeller Plaza. In Las Vegas, thousands and thousands of Santa Clauses run through the streets. It's a sea of Santas with a few Grinches, cheerleaders, and a whole lot of puppies mixed in too. The Las Vegas Great Santa Run is an annual tradition that raises a lot of money for a local charity. And in the weather that they have typically around this year, people think of it really being hot in the summer in Vegas. It is.
It is.
But around this time of year, ooh, you better pile on the clothes.
Desert
you really
dog.
need to.
Especially at night.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
at
yes.
night times. Yes, sirree. Well, that's kind of what we're going to have. Dry air rolling in and then giving us sunny days, but really cold nights. In fact, by Wednesday morning, I think we'll be at 34, and on Thursday morning down to 36. So these are not rainy days at all. It'll be sunny, dry, and chilly. But then, as we get to the weekend, all the old soupy sails that we had over the weekend will return to cloudy and damp skies. But the temperatures won't be as cold. So take your pick. You want it bone-chilling cold or sloppy?
I don't know. That's a hard choice.
How about sunny?
In the meantime, raise your glass to one of the world's most popular alcoholic beverages because Tuesday is National Lager Day. The day is celebrated every year on December 10th. No particular reason for that date, but who needs a reason to drink beer? You know, the cold,
Nope, can't
the
think of
cold
one.
conditioning process that's used to make lager is distinguishes it from other beers. In appearance, lagers can be pale, amber, even somewhat dark. However, they are generally lighter brews, often described as crisp and refreshing, just like our weather will be. Maybe not refreshing, but crisp. So grab a pint glass, pour yourself some liquid pleasure tomorrow, or I don't know, warm up with it, something like that.
But don't have too many and drive.
Well, of
Please.
course
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
And
Sit in front of the
do that.
fireplace.
Yes.
Don't do that if you're going to work either, you know.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for joining us.
Join Carolina, Parker Cox, 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night, sooner than lager.